All right, man. I'm going to show you a few things to look at while you're doing a print. So, your print is probably on a USB drive. Cool. Um, I sent this particular file wirelessly. Anyways, told you earlier, take off the calibration, hit print, and once it starts going, I'll start recording again. Okay, so the print has started. First line it does is just a purge line. All right. Now it does the skirt, which is just another purge line. All right, so now it's printing the brim. Cool. We'll come back in a second. Okay, so one other thing about the skirt, it gives you a good opportunity to see, what your layers are going to look like. So it shouldn't be completely flat. It should not be, loose. You can kind of push on that with your finger. If that's stuck on there pretty good, then you've got a good start. All right, so you've got your print going. You're watching the first several lines go down. Everything looks pretty good, right? You can come over here and hit this button, this adjust screen. You've probably seen that already. That's where you can adjust like speed, slow it down if it seems to not be printing good quality. But we're gonna focus on this Z-axis, and I'm gonna play around with this and show you some stuff in just a minute. Okay, so I already know that this Z offset is good because I've printed with it several times. All right. So is this larger flat print? It's starting to go. You look at it. It's smooth, right? No bubbles. No like filament buildup. So that's good. These smaller passes are always going to print better than like the longer, but if you're dialed in, even the longer passes, diagonal to diagonal, will look good. So I'm going to mess with the Z offset and show you what that does. Okay, so let's start by what I'm doing here. It's less of a negative offset, so the nozzle is actually moving up. And move that up quite a bit. You know what? I'm gonna go crazy with it, just so you really see what a shitty Z offset looks like. Alright. So if you can notice it. Yeah, see that? You can already notice it. So it's not, the material's like barely touching the bed. So part of the issue there is by not, squishing the filament, it looks like there's gaps, okay? So we'll just let that go for a minute. Let that build up with a bunch of really shitty lines. Okay, so, it's very obvious where I changed the Z offset. All right, like this is crap. It moves. Your print is not sticking to the bed. It's essentially already failed. So we'll come back here and we'll go back down. Let's see. Takes a second to respond. You can probably see that it goes in 0.05 increments. So I'm gonna go a little bit too far negative. Show you what that looks like. I'll be right back. Okay, I did one final little experiment here. So remember when we started, the Z offset was negative 2.59. So I actually raised it 0.05. You can see that there. And that 254 is very close to my 252 from a while back. One of the first times I calibrated this thing. But I wanted to bring it up just to get it a little bit closer to that number that I know is good. And you can see here, so the first part of these layer lines, It's a little close to the bed, but it's fine. Like when you peel this off and look underneath, like you won't even notice. And subsequent layers are gonna look really good. Here's where the Z offset was way too high. I mean, it actually moved. It's not adhered to the bed at all. Here, you saw me, I put it like super close, 0.1 millimeter closer than it should have been. I even went down like 0.15 lower, but the nozzle is almost actually touching the bed. So if I kept going, it would actually just dig into the bed and ruin the bed and ruin the nozzle. All right, so this is what it looks like at the 2.54, and that is like super smooth, super clean. And I'll peel this off and just show you what the underside looks like. Okay, so I saw the print, and one more time. See here, it's a little closer than it needs to be, but this won't affect the end result at all. Yeah, that's shit. These rippled lines are way too close. So you have like a cooling issue, and you're just like shoving that filament into the bed. And then here, this is the ideal setting, and that's what it should look like. Yeah, okay, let me peel this thing off. Okay, so here's what the underside looks like. Nice and smooth. First part of the print, we're at a good Z offset. Too far away, too close. Those ripples show through on the bottom. And then the last, like 1/3, or half of this print, is what I consider the perfect Z offset, and you can tell it's like super smooth. So, oh yeah, and then if you haven't already, printed with the brim. See, oh yeah, you can see here. So this brim, it just breaks off. So just 5 millimeters of outside plastic is the brim. Just peel that off. That's all.